Mhm. So, hello,
Hi,
Dr. Lawrence.
Dr. Ghada. Hello, nice to see you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you again.
Thank you.
So, this is our periodical meeting, our weekly session.
Yeah,
And I'm just like reminding you very quickly of the contract that we have. This is
yeah,
one of 12 sessions that we are holding. And we are actually, it's like everything that goes between us here, it's like confidential. It doesn't
yeah.
go out of the virtual walls that we have. And I'm just like, I wish to get your approval to use this recording for my credentials.
Of course you can. Yeah,
Okay. So uh, it's up to you that we set up this goal, the goal for the session, and we are going to carry on with the session and its progress the way you like.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So what's coming up for you now?
Well, I've been working now for 2 days. I stopped work for a while because of Christmas and the New Year, and then I had to go to hospital for a day. So I've taken it easy, and I've done 2 days of hard work now, sitting at this computer, working on recording, for want of a better term, podcasts. Although
Mhm.
they're not strictly podcasts, they're just talks, 10-minute talks, 8, 9, 10, 12-minute talks about topic areas that I've been given, that have been suggested to me by educators and parents all over the world last year, in what they think schools should be teaching but are not. So I've been working hard to catch up. And I've now, after a year, I've been given 170 different topics that parents think young people should be aware of before they leave school, go to work, go to uni as part of their adolescence. And so my goal would be to help me put together today an action item that I will carry out between now and next time that will help me get a move on with this, help me move forward with this. It's already been about 9 months in progress, and I'm desperate to get this online on social media and start gathering some young people listening to these podcasts and feeding back to me how they think they should or could be improved.
Okay, so this becomes the goal for our session, and that's a beautiful goal indeed. Thank you. So, on the scale from 1 to 10, how ready are you to start the visibility part?
Um, Probably a 7 or 8. And the reason I'm hesitating is because I've been working at this for long enough to get fed up with it now. And the task, the huge task, the weight on my shoulders for this is phenomenal. These are going to go out free. There's going to be no charge for them. And
Mhm.
so the financial implications are not relevant, but I also need to find work. And if I could make this pay somehow, maybe a year or two from now, then that would help me enormously and my family. So, yeah, I'm pretty motivated, and I'm trying to get over obstacles this week. I'm actually considering maybe moving away for a month, away from the house and the home and the kids, and just to be alone,
Mhm.
4 hours north with nothing else to do and nowhere else to go, and discipline myself to get this done, you know.
Mhm. Um, I have a feeling that you are really focused on it and you are really, really motivated. And I mean, it's just like an intuitive feeling, like the look on your face. I think you already have your heart set on it. So you are in the process of going visible with the project, and you have all the motivations. The motivation you gave me a number of points. What do you think can be a challenge that you need help with?
I have a writer who's working with me. I tell him what I want and he writes them for me. So I'm paying him for each one.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 40 online now, uploaded. And I have another 120 or 30 to go, but there's more every week. There's more requests for different topics coming in every week. And there's really no way to prioritize those topics.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed today that uploading them, I'm working more in alphabetical order because I haven't prioritized the importance of them. So if you were to go to the website, the platform, you would notice there are a lot of A's and B's and C's and some D's, but not much else. And I need to vary that a little bit to make there to be a balance as that they're getting uploaded and open to the public. But yeah, you're quite right. I have been very motivated, and more so by putting it out on a Facebook group to the world, and the responses that have come in from all over the world, from both traditional Asian learning environments and schools and teachers and kids, to Islamic, Quranic, calligraphic families, and also from America and Canada especially, and Australia and Europe. There's an awful lot going on and an awful lot of frustration with schools and curriculum. A lot of frustration that's been exacerbated by this last 2 years of lockdowns. Mm-hmm. And there seems to be a revolution going on in education. And I think we can be part of the spearhead of that revolution, mm-hmm. to make learning more engaging for young people who actually see the focus, the point, to see the relevance of this topic to their lives, rather than sitting back in school deflated because they can't see any relevance in anything they're learning for their future in this changing world.
It's beautiful how full you are of the dream and how meaningful it is for you. And it means that you want to give it some structure or priority. So if you start to prioritize the topics, will this give you a sense of achievement? And you're not just like carried away with the topics, whatever is coming every week?
Well, this guy has decided to go full time with me. So he's writing 2 or 3 a day now. So I'm way behind in my recordings. This month, over the next 3 weeks, he is going to drown me in scripts. And the scripts are very, very good. There are only, out of this list, there are only maybe 30 scripts that I feel I could write myself from my own professional experience. Mm-hmm. The rest of them he's writing. So I have in front of me 1, 2, 3, more than 3 pages of these topic areas. I don't know if you can see that, mm-hmm. but they're quite busy. And of course, the recordings have to be professional. They have to sound professional. So I'm learning the technology platform as I go as well. So yeah, it's these are amazing topics that you learn even an adult working in a team environment would be learning as you go through your career. These are things that they should have up front. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's happening here? Let me just like pull the threads together. So
pull the threads. I like that.
Okay. So you're just like, you are taking topics the way they go as they get suggested, and you have a content writer for you, and you think he's doing a good job that you are trying to give him more pieces to write every day.
Yeah.
And you are exploring and learning the technologies, and maybe the voiceover and the stuff that people would usually use in order to turn up good podcasts.
Yeah.
What does structure look like for you? What is enough and what is orderly? How can you describe that?
What is enough and what is orderly? There's never enough. Because what I want is a huge library of these topics, a repository, so that you, as a mum, could look down this list and you go, what? My son needs this one here. He really needs this. Hey, I want you to listen to this tonight, okay? Get up to your room and listen to this. Go. And it's just to raise awareness. So there is no order to this. I have so many to do and I want them done within, say, 3 months from now, completed, and I want it online. Some of these, none of these are really culturally driven. This is very multicultural. And yeah, I think everybody needs to know what meningitis is and how dangerous it is. I think kids need to understand the symptoms of meningitis, which can kill them at school or even at university. I think they need to learn how to let go. I think they need to learn interview techniques. They need to learn about what insomnia is and why we get insomnia. They need to understand grief, especially now. These are words that they hear in conversation or on the news and on TV, but they don't necessarily understand the full impact on their lives of understanding how to cope with grief and the difference between grief and despair and anxiety and stress and the different kinds of sadness that it can bring. They need to understand that grief is followed by a period of mourning, which is healing, and eventually you do heal. Empathy, respect, emotional intelligence, effective study, divergent thinking, autism, bullying, budgeting, all of these things. They're more than just words. They matter. And I don't think schools have the time to inculcate this into the curriculum, even if it were on the syllabus. I don't believe there's the contextualization that's required for all of these topic areas, like active listening. If you could show students in school when they were 11 or 12 how to listen actively as a coach would, then that might help their studying as they move forward through the next 4 or 5 years, and help them in life to actively listen to their husband or to actively listen to their wife or to actively listen to their boss or their colleagues. You know, all of these are important things. I'll shut up now. I'm lecturing. Sorry.
By all means, it's beautiful. What you're saying is like it's very noble, and it's really beautiful. Beautiful to think of a future that will have this kind of education and this kind of awareness popularized.
That's the word, awareness. An awareness to the complexities of life and methods of dealing with them.
So I think that the point of priority would be one of the points that will help us drive momentum to the project visibility.
Okay.
So
you're right. I mean, driving momentum is what we started talking about. How can I get this done in 3 months? How can I cope with the scripts that have come my way that I have to look through, edit, and record in the next 2 weeks? How do I drive my momentum? That's a good way of putting it. Normally, I would write a project timeline and I would back up a risk mitigation. If that's my deadline, maybe that's the date I must get all of this finished to give myself breathing space and corrections and checking time and formatting and technical platform uploading and website and social media marketing and getting it out there, building a following. So that's what I would do. I would build up a process timeline with dates in a diary, like this diary, these dates that would go into here. And I would stick to those with discipline, but I'm finding discipline difficult here. And I think one of the things I'm thinking about this week is going to an apartment somewhere in the north and just sit during January and February and get this finished. But whether it affects my wife and my daughters, I don't know. Not me not being here. I don't think my wife would mind.
So your hack on the discipline would be time. You're going to make more time for this.
Schedule. You have to schedule time. Like you're teaching somebody study skills. You tell them to schedule time and reward. Schedule time and reward. Schedule your study time. Fix what you're going to do with an overview, an idea, go into it with a certain time period, 40 minutes, stop for 15 minutes, 40 minutes, stop for 15 minutes, 40 minutes, go and watch TV for an hour, have a cheese sandwich, come back. So yeah, I must discipline myself.
Okay. So the way I can see it is you are trying to say that if I make time, things are going to work well because I have a plan and I have time.
Exactly.
And my point is, I may suggest, if I may, yani, it's like, what about, is there criteria for the choice of topics? So you just like do the topics that come by the way they do. And you have an excellent content creator that just like writes everything for you. Did you get to choose? And
I can't hear you. You've gone off. No, you've pulled out a plug or something.
oh, I haven't.
Yeah, no, can't hear you.
Can you hear me like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if you just like create some sort of alignment between the topics? You integrate the different topics together. Is this going to create momentum?
Yeah, that will create momentum, and it's something I'm going to do towards the end. There's no reason to do it now. I just need to get them all uploaded before they go out. As soon as they've gone out, they will need to be compartmentalized into drawers of topic areas. Some of them you can't, but they will have to be in some kind of organization. But bear in mind, you're reading through a repository, you're reading through an index, you pick one. So they can be alphabetical. They don't need to be in any form of priority because they won't be chosen in any form of priority.
So the way you can see things here is you are trying to imagine the user experience.
Yes.
You take it from their own perspective. The topics they choose, the way they're going to use their website, the way even the podcasts are going to be visible for them. This is interesting because it's motivating and it puts things in perspective. And if our goal is to go for momentum and progress with the project, so, and you're fully in and you're fully focused and motivated, what about if you start using yourself as maybe I would prefer to give a piece of my mind on this topic other than that? And then you start pulling together topics that come around the same theme. Is this going to create quicker production?
It might do, but also this is something I wouldn't be able to do until I got most of the topics completed. At the moment, I've got 30% of the scripts written and 50% of them actually uploaded. So I'm just going to go through them as they become easy for me to do. Some of them I can't do yet because I don't have a script. Some of them the scripts need work on. Some of these are less important. You are right. Some of these are less important. Some of these are more important. Depends on your audience. You don't know who your audience is going to be. You know, students who are coming up to take their final school leaving exams in the next 3 months are going to find different areas to look at than people who are just, you know, just looking through out of interest. Yeah, I mean, you might not find agility at work, flexibility at work, particularly interesting to students who are studying at school, you know. Circadian rhythms, probably not going to be that interesting to somebody unless they're really studying a degree in biology or something, you know. It's the titles are important because they will pick or choose from the title. Like the title of a movie. Sometimes you pick or choose from the title of a movie or a book in a shelf. You pick and choose by the title, you look it up to the opening photograph, you close it again. That's what I do on Netflix. I open an interesting title for a movie or a series, and then I look at the first few seconds, I go, no, not interested in that. And that's what they'll do. I have no way of knowing who my audience is going to be. Ostensibly, it's going to be the parents suggesting to the kids. And then what I'm thinking is when I've got enough people using them, I've got enough people registering their email addresses to use them for free, then maybe I can start saying, okay, if you want to continue using for these, what will then be nearly 200 topics, you'll pay a monthly subscription for your family, £10, something like that. I can see that happening 2 or 3 years away. But as these are only basic introductions, I have to turn them into certificated e-learning courses afterwards. That's 2 years away. So you would then be looking at learning a bit more about artificial intelligence rather than just a basic introduction. So you would then be moving forward into a first stage e-learning course, and then a second stage e-learning course, and then a third stage e-learning course, and be certificated and get a certificate from my academy for moving through those tiers and scaffolded learning. So really, these are just setting the seeds, as it were. I don't know if you realize it, but you have frozen. The screen has been frozen all the time I've been talking. So if you can hear me, I think you have a connection error. Oh, you've gone. Oh, you're back again. You come back. There you are. You're back again. Hi.
Yes, it's the internet. So it's the internet. It's just like.
Yeah, it was just 2 minutes. You missed. That's just all.
Okay. No, I didn't. I just like, it's like 30 seconds or something. I was like, I followed what you were saying.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's it. I mean, I don't have any control over how people go through this index and pick which courses. So I just want them all ready. It's not going out there until most of them are ready to go as a package, which is why I need to get this done within the next 2 or 3 months. So this month is going to be important. So I'm thinking now, you've got me thinking about ways to drive momentum, as you put it, succinctly, this month. And this week, I think, especially what I need to do is make a decision as to whether I'm going to pack up and disappear for a month to get it all done, or whether I'm going to stay here and try and work through the daily interruptions. Can I be disciplined enough, though, Dr. Ghada, staying here, or would I be more disciplined if I were in some monastic cell, some monastic cave in a county that offered me no other diversions or cultural interests or engagements? Okay. I think I probably would. So I think I need to make a decision now about just taking all of this stuff away and doing it somewhere else.
Okay. So the question here, if you choose to think about your surroundings or the environment, so whether you would like to work on your own, or you would like to just like keep yourself around with your family and move on with life the way it goes, but still keep your work in momentum. The word that you keep using is discipline. And I wish to challenge this word, because I think it's like, we're academics. It's never the case of discipline. It's integration, it's alignment. And this is how you get momentum. So if you have one excellent content writer, can you have two? Okay.
Okay, I think alignment is an interesting word. Maybe my situation isn't aligned with my needs right now. So I think the decision needs to be made that I'm going to disappear off the face of the earth for a month or 6 weeks. And then I can get this done. And it does become disciplined then, because I've got no other interference, no other excuses for procrastination, Professor. You understand that?
Yeah.
We've all been there. We all understand the power of procrastination. And I've been living through it for 3 or 4 months now.
Okay. So it seems that you have arrived to your destination.
Or at least I've chosen the destination. Yeah.
Yes. So who are you being now? If you can imagine that you're now on your own, very much detached from the world, you have managed to construct your ivory tower. And now you're there.
It's strange that you say ivory tower, because outside the window of this place I'm going, there is indeed a big tower, but it's not made of ivory.
Okay.
My
So
friend has
it's
offered me an apartment. He lives in Brazil. He's offered me his apartment in Fleetwood in the north of England. And right outside the window, there's a huge clock tower, which acts as a sign for ships coming down. They line up 3 towers and then they come in. And this is a 250-year-old method of getting them in the right place in the river so they don't run aground on the mud in the bay outside this apartment. So yeah, there will indeed be a tower, but it won't made of ivory. No, I think having discussed this over with myself and you now, I think rather than struggling, I need to change my situation to align better with the needs I have in the next few weeks, which are 10 hours a day of just doing this and better sleeping, getting more regular sleep cycles in rather than waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, stressing about it and not going back to sleep, which doesn't help. That's a vicious circle.
Okay. So if you have a mental image about that thing, how will your stay look like? The stay that you're going to have for 1 month or 2 months? The details that you have shared now is like 10 hours of productivity a day, which is beautiful. And going across all the work that you have, how long would it take?
Well, I'm getting better at the technology. So I'm quicker today because I've only done this for a couple of days. I had a month, 6 weeks off because I went to Calgary, Canada, and then I came back, and then Christmas, and then I banged my face. And so looking at what I've done today and yesterday, even with the interruptions, the fact that I can walk off and have a conversation with my wife or get in the car and drive with her to pick up my daughter from school, as I just did, even without those, I'm working on the speed I've worked today. I reckon I could do 4 a day. I reckon I could, which means in 6 weeks, I can be ready to go on while I'm doing this. Good one. While I'm doing this, my web designer can be working on the website. So maybe those two would align 6 weeks down from now to go live.
Okay, that's very interesting. So
yeah,
this means
I hadn't thought about that.
So now that we have the timeline, which is 6 weeks, and we already have the units, the incremental units for the day's production, how are you going to take care of yourself? Make sure that you are well fed, you sleep well, and the energy, the fuel that would keep you running for 6 weeks in productivity.
Yeah, you've hit on an interesting point, because there is another reason I would like to escape. My wife is a baker. She bakes every day. And if there's anything left in the next day, she gets upset with us. So I've put on probably 6 kilos in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks since probably not 4 kilos since I came back from Calgary, Canada. And I need to get control of my own diet. I need to be eating tomatoes and mackerel and tuna and vegetables and not the chocolate that's lying around after Christmas. So there is a secondary reason to go away. So my nutrition would actually be based on dietary needs rather than satisfying my wife's culinary arts and her desire to see everything gone the same day. I'm laughing, but actually it's quite serious. Interesting you mentioned that. It is another reason I need to get away for a few weeks. I can jog along the waterfront.
This is interesting.
It is interesting because I didn't think about that, but it's quite true. That's another reason I need to get away.
Mm-hmm. So how can we get to visualize an image to describe the different progress stops that you have? So if you have to get away, what does your week 1 look like? Week 2,
week
what
1 will
does
be
it look
interesting
like?
because I will have to work out the gas and electric. I will have to find the local shops. I will have to stock up the cupboards with things I know I should eat, not what I want to eat. I won't be buying any wine. I won't be buying any beer. You know, this is a serious escapade. I mean, this is like me in the jungle for 6 weeks. Seriously. That's the visual you want. The grass that's behind you now, those big, your background, is for me lying in the jungle with the sunlight coming down and filtering through the trees, speckled light, making me look up to the blue sky. And I can see that 6 weeks from now, I would be in a much better position than I would be if I just stayed here for 6 weeks. So yeah, there are very good positives about. I hadn't started this session with the thought of making up my mind to go away, but I think talking to you, it's about the only way to align, as you put it, what actually has to be done in a time scale that's reasonable.
So let me ask you here, how would you like us to progress with our session? If you think we have arrived to this goal.
15 minutes left, don't we?
Yes.
So let's make a plan. Let's take my diary and make a plan. Because I wasn't expecting to be going away, but it looks though I have to. So if I leave in 1 week, that means I can prepare a priority list of stuff to take with me, my laptop, the leads I need to take, my microphone, which is here. I don't need the camera. I better take the camera because I will be doing some work online. And I think that's all I need. I did do some recordings in Calgary, actually. I did think I would take everything with me and do some recordings in Canada early in December. I didn't get that much done because the person I was staying with just wanted to talk all the time, which was nice, because she needed to talk. But I expected to get more done than I managed. So yeah, I would, in the next week, I would make lists of what I need and see if I could perhaps, there's nothing I need here after next Wednesday. So I could make a date and arrange to take the train to leave my wife the car. I could determine to get up there by Wednesday. That would give me Thursday and Friday to settle. And then I want 4 straight weeks. And then I begin training with the Samaritans on the 7th of February. So that is 4 weeks. That's 3.5 weeks. And actually, I'm doing that online, so I can do that from up there. Must take my camera with me.
Do you have all you need for this training?
My diary is free.
Okay. Do you have all you need for this training? This training is going to be in the middle of your work plan.
No, I don't need anything. It's just online sessions I have to take part in for the Samaritans to be a listener.
Okay.
So it won't affect anything.
I would say it would be refreshing. So
yeah, you're probably right. It'll give me somebody to talk to, won't it? Or rather, somebody to listen to. I should be listening, not talking. I have to learn to shut up.
So let me just ask you, do you have someone to give you feedback on your work?
No.
Do you team up with this content creator? So you get to the writer, he listens to you?
Yeah, but he has this list and he knows exactly what needs to be written and he does it in an order that suits him. But he's gone full-time now with me. So I need to pay him a full-time salary now. for the next month, which will take me up to that training for the Samaritans. So that should work out quite well. If I can aim to get away by Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll go and tell my wife now that I'm leaving on Tuesday or Wednesdays, because I'll say Dr. Ghada thought it might be a good idea, shall I? No, I won't do that really. But I think it's a good idea. I think what you've helped me with here is that the main issue is being here, which is a perfect setup. I have a dual screen. I have a beautiful, big, fabulous computer and a great microphone set up, and I have everything set up here, but it's too comfortable. It's too cozy. I need to think in terms of, I'm going to be there for this amount of time only, and that's it. I've got to get it done. There's where the discipline will come in for the alignment to get this work pretty much finished and ready to go online. Okay, so that's the other thing I've got to do. I've got to get in touch with my web designer and get the website kick-started, because as I progress with my pace now, I'll be able to know what the website should look like. And then all of these podcasts have to be linked to Apple and Spreaker and all of the other podcasting platforms as well, to go out. LinkedIn, Facebook, a new Facebook group. I have a Facebook group for this, but I haven't worked on it yet, and I haven't got it out there. So there's masses to do. Oh my God. I'm exhausted.
So who's going to work on the social media?
Well, I paid for 2 companies 18 months ago before lockdown, and they were both rubbish. I took one to court to get my money back. So I think I'll probably just work this myself slowly throughout 2022. Throughout the year, I'll give myself milestones each quarter, so that by, let's say, September, things are running quite smoothly, and I can concentrate then on the e-learning courses. Because what I need from these people, assuming it goes out and assuming they listen and want to listen to more, is that I will ask them, what do you want next? And where there's a particular interest in particular courses, I will build e-learning courses around those. What those look like yet, I don't know. I do build e-learning courses, but these will have to be much simpler, modular, tiered, scaffolded courses with a certificate for each level. So I've started an academy, the National Life Skills Academy, NSLA, and I have a website already, which I'm beginning to upload things to. So I need to get all of that organized, probably within the next couple of weeks, and then I'll be able to start dropping things into it. So the social media, as you asked, the social media will be done by Johnny and myself. And this script writer, he is a professional script writer. He wants to be part of that because he wants to learn. If that answers your question.
This is very interesting. So it seems like everything is in place. Everything looks like the clearer the goal, the better it looks and the more promising it is.
Yeah, I liked your word alignment. I thought that was good. I need to align all of these different facets to come together so that we can roll. It's like putting something together, and I can begin to roll it along by the end of February, 6-7 weeks from now.
And it's very healthy that you consider the perspective of the users and the parents, especially that you have identified them as parents.
Well, I have to. That's how you write curriculum. You write it to engage your particular audience, whether they're Emiratis or whether they're Singaporeans. Simple as that. I'm used to doing that. We did have a design company. I opened a design company 15 years ago in Bahrain. And this particular web designer, I'd already been working with for 5 or 10 years. I've known him 25 years. He's amazing.
This is very interesting. This is very interesting.
A wonderful Filipino design and developer. And the wonderful thing about him is we've done some very complex stuff in the past when we were database and website designing, very complex stuff, because some of it was brand new technologies. And if he doesn't know the answer to something, by the time you wake up in the morning, he knows the answer, because he spent all night on the blogs developer blogs pulling out people, the 2 or 3 people in the world who know how to answer that question. So I'm very lucky.
I mean, I have an observation. Do you mind if I share it?
I don't mind at all.
I mean, I love the way you talk about it, because I feel that this project is the culmination of your experience as a person, of your relationships, the professional relationships that you have developed over the years.
Yeah.
So I can see a lot of passion and imagination going into it.
Yeah, I'm
And
passionate.
meaning.
Yeah.
It has meaning.
As a student, I failed miserably everything at school because I just switched off.
Mhm.
So I failed everything. I left school with nothing. Even when I was 19, I just failed all my A levels again. So I left school. I didn't actually go to college until I was 27. So as a failed student who is autistic with Asperger's, I understand the problems young people have learning and the very important need to keep them in the conversation, to keep them engaged, and to listen to what keeps them engaged, and to feed that engagement all the way through whilst they discover their own inner abilities. Their own self-esteem builds to build their self-confidence, that they can achieve anything they want to achieve. And I think this, as you just suggested, this is the penultimate engagement key for lifelong learning and creative innovation, learning how to learn. So yeah, I am very passionate about it. You hit the nail on the head. You didn't know any of that, did you?
I mean, this is a very interesting way to speak about one's job. I mean, it's like I can see a lot of passion, and I can see a lot of engagement on your part. And I do really wish you luck. I do hope to see that. So maybe I'm going to check back on you next week in our weekly session in order to see how things are progressing. So if today's Wednesday, next Wednesday you'll be long gone. So you'll be in your tower.
Inshallah. Let's see.
Yes.
Maybe check in on me on Monday or Tuesday. Or Tuesday might be good.
Okay.
Yeah, Tuesday would be good.
Tuesday would be good.
And I'll report back.
Okay. So next session will be Tuesday, 6 p.m., the way we go. And we will be talking from the new abode that you will be holding for yourself.
No, I don't think I'll be there yet. I think it'll be the day or two after that I'll get there.
Okay.
You can wait till then if you like, but I'm not going to guarantee that I have the internet up there until I get it sorted. So let's check in on Tuesday if you don't mind.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. We'll be talking on Tuesday. And I hope that we have achieved the goal for the session for today.
Yeah, I made the plans here. Mm-hmm. So I know what I've got to do now.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure seeing you today. And inshallah, we meet next week.
Thank you very much indeed for your help. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
The same.